feel a bit far away from you here. Aitor, can we start please with your injury situation? Is there an update at all on George Friend or any new injuries?
Yes, I think this week is just George. The rest of the team are ready. So it's just, I think it's only George who is injured.
Do you know yet how long he's likely to be out?
Because sometimes I prefer to think it's going to be 3-4 weeks, and if at the end it's 3, better than 4, if it's true. But I prefer to not say anything because I don't know exactly how long.
You obviously lost your captain, Ledbetter, at the start of the season, and then Friend, who was standing in. Now you've got Gibson in there. Does that show just the number of leaders that you have in this squad? That everything's kept moving along nicely since Gibson came in and took over the captaincy?
Yes, but to have leaders in teams every day is more difficult. But we have a few of them here. But for that reason, I think it's really important to have a strong spirit in the group. And this group has showed last season and 2 seasons ago, especially when we lost the final, that they are a strong group. And when there is Grant, who's the character of the team, George, or now is Gibo. But again, the most important thing is the spirit of the group, and the group is strong.
Ben's obviously still a young man, it's easy to forget that. How is he taken to the role over the last week or so?
No, he knew his role. Now he's wearing the armband, but his role is the same. We will respect him because he has earned his respect, because he's young, he's from the academy, but he's more mature than his age, and for the reason again is our captain on the pitch. But you will know that once again the main thing is the group.
I think when you looked at the fixtures just a few weeks ago, it looked pretty daunting when you had Arsenal away, Manchester City away, Bournemouth, and then Chelsea. When you look back at that little clutch of games there, are you pleased with the 5 points that you picked up?
Yes, and I'm more pleased once again for the performances. And I said after Arsenal, after Man City, after Bournemouth, and after Chelsea, that the points will arrive if we play in the way that we are playing. And it's difficult to have points in the way that we were playing before West Ham, because it was difficult to play in the way that we played against Everton the second half and 15 minutes in the first half, the way that we played against Watford. Against Watford, the first 35-40 minutes we played well, but the way that we played the first half against Tottenham was difficult. But playing in the way that we are playing now, for sure we are going to have points on the table.
You must be pleased by the way that you've got a new team coming up. No one's taking a few goals off you. Every game's been quite close. You've certainly been in every match and look like you can take something. Does that please you?
Yeah, I think it's one of the key for me is to try to, especially when you are playing against the top teams in the league like Arsenal, Man City, or Chelsea last Saturday. One important thing for me is to arrive to the last moments of the game with chances to draw, to win the games, because you can't drive yourself crazy against those teams, because we had the experience when we were lost 15 minutes against Everton and we conceded 3 goals. So now we are more consistent on the pitch, and against Man City we scored 91 minutes. We had a chance last Saturday to score at the end of the game. So finishing the games always with that score, we will have the chance.
I noticed Negredo's received a little bit of criticism recently from some quarters. What do you make of that as his manager? What do you make of the criticism that you've received?
Always when a striker is not scoring goals, he's going to receive critics. So when a team is not winning, the manager is going to receive critics. So, but once again, for me, the work that Álvaro is doing on the pitch is really good. He's improving. He's working hard, and everybody has to understand that we are not a top team, which are going to arrive 10 times to the opponent box. So we are going to have 1 or 2 chances every game, especially when we're playing at the top of the table teams. And the main thing, once again, is that always working for the team and always is the team the most important thing.
Is that maybe something he's having to learn as well, because he's obviously used to playing with teams who probably have a lot of chances, Manchester City, Valencia as well. Is that something that he's maybe having to change in his game and become used to that?
Yes, and he's learning, and now, especially when we are going to play against Leicester and Hull the following game, and the other games when Leicester won the league last season, but now they are not in a good moment, so we have to play in the same intensity and arriving more times to the opponent box. He's going to score goal for sure if he works in the way that he's working.
What Leicester did last season, is that the blueprint? Is that the dream for a club like Middlesbrough to do what they did last year?
It's a dream for everybody. I think even for them last season. So, but dreams happens once every 100 years. So it's not usual, and we can't make the mistake that we can do the same in a short time. So they did last season really well. They are not in a good moment in the league, but for example, they are qualified in the Champions League. So it's a difficult game, which can be a bit difficult to approach, because you think that they are not good on the table, but again, to play in the place that they are in the Championship is not easy.
They've obviously qualified from their group with a game to spare, so that's out of the way for them now. Is that a slight concern for you then, that perhaps all their concentration goes back onto the league and they could be at their best again?
I think it's going to be difficult because they won the league last season. They are an example of togetherness and the way that you have to play as a team if you want to achieve important things. And again, you have the example here, for example, Tottenham is not qualified and Leicester is qualified, so they are doing a good season, and especially for teams like them, which are not used to play two competitions now, maybe in the league, they are not in the position that they were expecting at the beginning, but they are a good team, they have an amazing experienced manager, so it's a really tough game for us.
Thank you.
Alright, so with the performances and the spirit that you showed against Arsenal and Manchester City, 2 away games, is that exactly what you want to see from your team again this weekend?
Yes, because playing in that intensity, in that confidence, for sure we're going to win games. But thinking that dropping a little bit or going to the games a little bit more relaxed, if we think that we are going to win games, we are making a big mistake. So the only way in Premier League to win games is playing every single day 100% and not making mistakes.
How important is it to keep the home crowd quiet? Because Leicester, particularly last season, they were riding this crest of a wave, and the atmosphere was fantastic inside the stadium, and it'll probably be quite lively at the start this weekend.
Yeah, but for us, I think everybody knew at the beginning of the season that it was going to be a tough season for us, especially when we were used to win every single game at the Riverside. This season is going to be difficult. For me, it's amazing the support that we are receiving from them, especially when we are not winning the games at home, and we know that on Saturday is going to be a really tough game because they have a good atmosphere. They played yesterday a Champions League game, they won the league last season, so they are now really pleased with the team, and it's going to be another tough test for us.
When you said about creating chances and getting into the box, you are playing some attacking direct players in Gaston Ramirez and Adama Traore, so are you trying to encourage that as much as possible, really?
Yeah, we have to try different options, because at the beginning of the season we didn't have a lot of chances to score. It's true that now we haven't had a lot of chances because we played against top teams, but with Gaston, with Álvaro, with Adama, with Downey, with Victor Fischer, with Runan Fosso, with Stuani, for sure we're going to create chances if we play once again in the same intensity.
And how pleased were you with Fabio's contribution last weekend? It was his first Premier League game in over 2 years. He's had injuries obviously at the start of this season, but slotted in very well.
Yeah, I was really pleased because Fabio is the kind of players or the kind of lads who deserves, because he arrived here, and for him was a really good moment, because he was in Championship, and the following day he was in Premier League, and he's been training really well. He knew that he was going to be difficult for him, because your friend is a really good player, but he was training good. He was always taking his confidence again to play one day, and once again the chance arrives for every single player.
And just finally from me, Jamie Vardy hasn't scored too many for Leicester this season, but obviously scored on international duty with England. Is he still as dangerous as he was last season?
Yeah, he was doing that game, and I don't know who said that he had not scored in the last I don't know how many games in the national team, and he scored against Spain. So I know him, because he was in Championship when I was here. So he's the kind of players who I know really well, but even knowing him is really dangerous.